Kadosh Boker or Daf Yomi Masechet Avodah Zarah Daf Kav Gimel Amud Aleph 23:1 says the Gemara Ravina Amar. Ravina comes and he says La Kashia. It's not a contradiction between our Mishnah and between the Zalachot. Halecha Techila b'diavad, meaning our Mishnah says Lecha Techila, do not come and leave it by Onovei Kochavim. But b'diavad, if you already did it, so therefore it's going to be okay, right? We're not going to do. That means Lecha Techila, be careful just in case he's going to do the Reviyah. Right, but if you left it by them, we're not going to suspect it. How do you know the difference between lechatchila and b'diavad? The Tanakh, we learned in the Mishnah, lo titached isha imahim. Don't, a woman should not have yichud with the goyim. We have a contradiction. When you have a woman that was captured between the Oved Kochavim, if it's going to be through money, she's going to be permitted to her husband. If it's going to be through nefashot, it's going to be prohibited to the husband. But rather we learn from here, there's going to be a difference between lechatchila and bediavad. So says the Gemara, mimai dilma leolam imalecha. So therefore you do see that even by there's going to be a difference between lechatchila bediavad, between whether it's going to be that yitached, meaning you're not allowed to have yichud. But if you did do yichud, she's still permitted. But we're not going to say that she's asura leba'ala. Okay? So there is a difference between lechatchila and b'diavad. Okay, everyone understood that case. Yeah, this is brought down in Shulchan Aruch, by the way. Okay, Siman Yud Aleph. Mimai says the Gemara. Yeah, he says over here, even as Siman Zayin Sif Yud Aleph. He says like this. He says, Mimai Dilma leolam imelecha. Really, Be'emet, I'm going to come and I'm going to tell you, afilu b'diavad nami lo. Even b'diavad also, they're not going to permit a woman. Here it's because of Mitirem Shubim Semamono. Because he thinks that if he went and he's going to have relations with her, the guy will never pay to ransom her back. Meaning, maybe the husband will only pay to get her back if she's clean. But if she already went with the goy and the goy violated her, maybe he's going to say, keep her. Yeah, he's going to say, he wants her back. So he says, so because of that, he's not going to do anything to her. So Teda, what's the proof? Tani Seifa. Nefashot, Asura al-Bala. If it was going to be that nothing to do with money, and it had to do with Nefashot, she's Asura al-Bala. So says Vetulo Mide, right? And therefore it says the Gemara, the Enklum, which means that you cannot ask anything else from that, right? Because Be'emet, he's going to be fearful of coming because of Semamono. Okay, fine. So says the Gemara out of Pedat Amar. Of Pedat comes and he says, Lakashi, I've got another answer. Harabi Eliezer Harabanan. It's a difference between Eliezer and Harabanan. Tetranam was learned to the Mishnah, Gabe Para Chatat. This is Para Duma. Oh wow, this week's Parasha. We just finished Chukat. Rabbi Eliezer says, you're not allowed to take a Para Duma from Oziel Kochavim. Chachamim says you're allowed to. Maila Vaka Mipalgeda means, are you allowed to buy a Para Duma from Oziel Kochavim or not? So says the Gemara, Maila Vaka Mipalged. There's not a machloka between them. Rabbi Eliezer holds Chashin and Reviyah that we do suspect for Reviyah, and Rabbanan hold that we don't suspect for Reviyah. So says the Gemara, Mimai. Whoever said that that's the machloka between them. He says, Dilma dechule alma lo chashina. Maybe we're not going to suspect for Reviyah. The hachainu tama, and here the reasoning is that Rabbi Eliezer is because like Rav Yudah Rav. Tamar Rav Yudah Rav haniach alea oda shel sakim. What happens if he put a chavila of sakim rekim? Meaning on top of the animal, he put a chavila of empty bags. Meaning like empty bags. He put a whole bunch of them. Psala, he already made a pasul for paraduma. Ube'egla rufa, achetim shochba. He has to pull it. More savar chayshinan, more savar lo chayshinan. So Rabbi Eliezer sover that we're going to suspect that he put something very small on the paraduma, and therefore it's going to be disqualified. And the chachamim say that we're not going to suspect it. So lo sal kadaitach mishum nicha purta lo mafsituva. He says because you're going to put something on it, you're going to come and lose so much. We're not going to suspect it. So he says hachanami so to here lema mishum hanaa right purta lo mafsituva, because of a small hanaa we're not going to come and he's not going to do such a thing. So answers the Gemara hata mitzot tokpo. This is not true. He says the Yetzer Hara is so strong. Even if it's going to be, right, it could be that he's going to come and he's going to, he's going to take away from this sakana, just like we said before, which means that even though we said that he's not going to be choshesh, he says that the Yetzer Hara is so strong, he's not going to be able to control himself. Yeah? So he says, okay, fine. Dilma dechuli alma lo chashin l'revia. Maybe bemet we don't suspect for revia. And here the reasoning of Eliezer is kedetani Shila, just like Shila taught. Detani Shila. My time, what's the reasoning of Eliezer? Tabenim yisavi chulecha paraduma. Bnei Yisrael yichu. Ben all the kochuvim yichu. Meaning you have to purchase a davka from a Yisrael and not from a kochuvim. Nothing to do with revia. Stam, you have to purchase it from a Jew, not from a goy. So says the Gemara, no, lo sakadaita for sure. That's not the pshat. Tektani seifa v'kach ya Rabbi Eliezer posel bechol korbanot kulan. He was posel in all the korbanot, not only just paraduma. Now he says, Isa, if you're going to tell me like Tani Shila, I understand paraduma. It's written v'yichu elecha, but it's not written that by all the korbanot. Like korbanot, right? It's not written behu. So therefore, why are you going to say that? Okay. So Dilma kan lo pligi Rabbanan le Rabbi Eliezer. Maybe until here, Rabbanan do not argue on Rabbi Eliezer. Kav Gimel Amubet 23b. Ela bepara, only by a paraduma. The damea yekarim, because it's very, very expensive. So the goy is going to be choshesh for hefsed, meaning he's going to suspect that since it's so valuable, he's not going to do it. But b'shar kobanot, maybe he does agree to the chachamim, right? Meaning the opposite. Chachamim agree to Rabbi Eliezer that really be'emet it's pasul because we are going to be choshesh for the via. Meaning there does exist such a svara that maybe only by paraduma is it kosher, but not in anything else. So he says, money. So who's the one that says that you're allowed to purchase a be'emah from a korban, from a goy? It's not going to be Rabbi Eliezer. Not going to be, meaning, if you tell me that Chachamim agreed to Rabbi Eliezer in every other korban other than paraduma, so then who says that you're allowed to? There's a Gemara. You're allowed to buy from a goy. So who is it? It's not Rabbi Eliezer, not Rabbi Dan. The Otanya Beden, we learned it in Mefurash. Mayot v'lechavru hai the Rabbi Eliezer. What did they ask to Rabbi Eliezer? Kol tzon kedari kavtzulach ya'alu mizbachi. What does that mean? Chachamim hold the be'emot of the kachumim are ksherot also for other korbanot. So Rabbi Pedat that he answered this, it's not true. So says the Gemara, that's only by a chashash. Aval hecha devadai reva'ah pesala. Here we're only talking about that we're not sure whether it did bestiality or not. But if you know that they did bestiality, for sure it's pasul, right? For anything. Shemamina de para kodshe mizbeach. So obviously the para duma is considered a kodshe mizbeach. The kodshe bedek habayit. Pasal, but if it's going to be kodshe bedek habayit, so therefore he says it's going to become pasul. Obviously not. V'shane para de chatat karya rachmana. So it's different over here. The para, because it's considered a chatat. Okay, so therefore since it's considered a chatat, therefore it's going to be pasul, become pasul, just like a chatat. So ela me'ata. So we're going to ask a question. Ti pasel biyotze dofen. What happens if it was given birth to through a C-section? Is it going to become pasul also? But it's not derech dofen? The chitem, and you're going to tell me yes. So lama tanya, why do we learn hikdisha b'yotzei dofen psula? That if you were magdish the paraduma b'yotzei dofen, it's psula. Rabbi Shimon makshir. Rabbi Shimon says it's going to be kosher. Now if you're going to tell me Rabbi Shimon l'tameh amar yotzei dofen bla ma'alya, that according to Shitat Rabbi Shimon, a C-section is exactly the same as a regular birth. Fa'amar Rabbi Yochanan says, modei Rabbi Shimon l'inyan kodshim she'enu kadosh. Right? Rabbi Shimon agrees that by kodshim, it's not kadosh. Meaning kodshim is a special halacha that it's not going to be kadosh. Elashane para, but it's different. A paraduma shehol mum posel ba. That since the mum is going to be posel, dvar erva avodah zarah nami posel ba. So therefore, since it's there's a mum is posel, everything else is also going to be posel. Whether it's going to be erva or avodah zarah also is going to be posel, even though it is kodshe bedek habayit. Tichtiv says in a pasuk. Meaning, we're talking about the psul of korbanot. We know obviously a korban cannot have a mum. Whenever it says ki shchit kol basar et kol haaretz, hashchata, corruption is always erva and avodah zarah, right? Davar erva dichtiv ki shchit kol basar et kol haaretz, avodah zarah dichtiv bin shchitu v'asidim lachem pesel. V'param nami, it's also written by the paraduma. Right? That means even though it's kedusha bedek habayit and not a korban, hoil umum poselba ervav of zakavim poselba. Meaning like this: if it was a korban, so it's pashut that it's going to be posel. If it's a korban, if it's a sacrifice, but if you're gonna, it's not really a korban. They burn it, then they use the ashes, but it's not like they bring it on the korban. So it's kodshe bedek habayit. But he says, but since this kodshe bedek habayit is different because a mum is posel by the paraduma. So therefore, the other halachot of korbanot also apply to it, which is going to be irva and avodat kochavim. Gufa. Right? We were talking about the Bright again. Tani Shila. My time at Rabbi Eliezer, what's the reasoning of Rabbi Eliezer? He says, the Chtiv, it says in the Pasuk, Daber b'nei Yisrael v'yikhu elecha. What does v'yikhu? B'nei Yisrael yikhu, ve'en avdei kochavim yikichu. Only by the b'nei Yisrael they're going to yikuch, but not the avdei kochavim. That means you're not going to buy it from the avdei kochavim. Ela mi'ata, so we're going to ask a question. Remember, he said, v'yikhu li truma, hachanam b'nei Yisrael yikhu, ve'en avdei kochavim yikichu. Says what? It's only, that means the sul lekrom hem zahav, avanim tovot, for nothing in the Mishkan, you can't buy it from a goy. Now you're going to tell me, yes, that's what we were learning. And where do they learn it from? They learn it from what's it called? From here. It says Dama, right? Dama menitina. And he got it, and he bought it from him. So you see that you are allowed to buy further Mishkan from an Oved Kochavim. So for obviously, not because it says V'yichu, that it has to be dafka v'yichu etzel Yehudi v'lo v'yichu etzel goy. So obviously tomorrow we'll bring down the story. It's a very, very beautiful story of Kibud Avaim that we'll speak about tomorrow. Bezat Hashem.